Well, my inspiration really fed me tonight. Um, Sobriety and sanity are mutually exclusive. Um, Alcoholism is the exercise of a power. It is empowering. That's why people do that. Or whether any other substance abuse, drugs, cigarettes, whether it's in moderation or immoderation, it's all an exercise of empowerment. And why would somebody do that? Because they feel hopelessly powerless to do anything about their life. Now, that doesn't mean that becoming an alcoholic or a drug user solves your problems. Of course not. It doesn't solve anything. But it changes your attitude. It makes you feel powerful, and so you don't feel frustrated anymore. Now, the reason why sobriety and sanity are mutually exclusive is because when we exercise power, when we elect not to exercise power by being sober, then we become frustrated wussies. Frustrated wussies who feel powerless and now have an attitude deficit, and that leads to insanity to one degree or another. And as Charlie Lutz liked to say, everyone is insane on at least one subject. It's the people who are insane on more than one subject that get locked away. Men in white coats come and they take you away to the happy farm, right? And then they give you drugs, which is empowerment. So you see, there's no getting around it. So everything has to be in moderation, or else you get flipped to the opposite, and that's an ideology straight out of the I Ching. In other words, Mother Nature abhors, we're told Mother Nature abhors a vacuum, but in reality, Mother Nature abhors an extreme condition. It has nothing to do with vacuum. There's no such thing as an absolute vacuum, but if anything should become too extreme, whether it's a vacuum or whether it's fullness, it flips into its opposite, because Mother Nature always tries to achieve balance. And that's why karma exists, to achieve balance through alternation between opposites. But that's not the primary directive of Mother Nature. I'm a little on a tangent, but that's okay. I want to finish this. The prime directive of Mother Nature is that all things must grow. And that's why in the Vedic Sanskrit, the Almighty Supreme Being is called Ishwara, because I means progression, evolution, and Shwara means all creatures. And everything is a creature, whether it's a rock or an animal or a plant. It all has consciousness. Electricity has consciousness. Everything has consciousness. It's just at a different stage of its evolution. And the human being is at the pinnacle, because we are multiplexers. We're not the most powerful beings in the universe, and that's why we're so frustrated, or drunk, or whatever, substance abusers. But we are multiplexers, and no other creature in creation is capable of the kind of the infinite degree of multiplexing that the human being is capable of. We are the epitome of multiplexing, and that's really what the pinnacle of success of our evolutionary development amounts to, is being able to do anything, be anything, achieve anything, to a limited degree, because we're human, because we've spread ourselves so thin in terms of our potentiality, but we can do anything. You can do anything you set your mind to. It is a truth. But plants, animals, nature sprites, you name it, the devil, they are all narrowly focused in just one role. And that's all they get to do, is play one role in their lifespan. And they have to incarnate gazillions of times. We can't even count how many times. As Gurudev, Maharishi's guru, put it, billions of types of lives, okay? Not counting how many lifespans within each type. Billions of types before we become a human type, okay? And the human is limited, according to Charlie Lutz, to 777 incarnations maximum. Now, that might be different on other planets, might be 999, I suspect, because Earth is a little different than the rest of our solar system, let alone the rest of the universe, to a large degree, because the Earth has the golden ratio, and now I'm really off on another tangent, but our solar system is the silver ratio, so I'll leave it at that. So 700 lifetimes maximum spent on survival. 70 lifetimes maximum spent on domination of ourselves, our environment, whatever. And 7 lifetimes maximum spent on spirituality. Now, it doesn't mean you have to live out all 777. One will do, if you can wing it in one lifetime, God willing. But most of us don't do that. So, let's see, where was I? I got distracted, sorry. So I think I've said everything. So you see, I've befriended an alcoholic, and we have our disputes once in a while, and our differences, and then we learn about each other's boundaries. But we learn about stuff. We learn about a difference of opinion. We learn about the other point of view. And so I'm learning about alcoholics are not bad. It's simply the immoderate use of substance abuse which is bad. But alcohol, it's great, because you're dealing with somebody who's actually sober. And I like being around this guy because he's he's sane, because he's sane. I'm the sober one, but I'm nuts. But he's the soused one, and he's sane. And that's the irony of life, is that we can never have everything that we want. We always get a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag of this, that, and the other thing, and it's all mixed up together. Angels are purely angelic. The devil is purely demonic. And animals are purely animalistic, and rocks are purely rocks, and electricity is purely electricity. And so we have all these different range of types of lives, or if you prefer, expressions of consciousness, but they're types. They're fixed types. They're, stereotypes. You can even make a stereotype of each one, because they are types of lives, of expressions of consciousness. While we can't really be defined. You try to define the human, and it kind of wiggles out of the definition. Now, it's true that our personality, it tends to be habit prone, and those habits define us. But we can surprise ourselves and surprise each other by forming a new habit, if we but that's a whole nother thing I won't even get into. I'm not very good at, sometimes if pressed to it. Charlie Lutz would say epic and pressure. Everything in life is pretty much driven by epic and pressure. And I'm not sure what he meant by epic. We all know what pressure is. Epic must be, if I had to take a guess, epic must mean we reinvent ourselves. We surprise ourselves and do something new we never would have done before. And it becomes an epic because we rise above our habits and our decisions and our repulsions and our attractions, and we become something more than what limits us. That must be what it means. It's not a question of good versus evil or choosing left versus right. Sorry. I think it's a situation in which you rise above the limitations of your situation. I think that's what epic means. And pressure is you're stuck in the situation and you have no choice but to be pushed along, screaming and kicking. So you can either scream and kick your way through life, or you rise above the limitations of your life and you become a hero. Oh.